2018 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series returns to the circuit when we head to Hockenheim over the weekend of the 15th and 16th of September. An enormous crowd joined us for American Fan Fest in 2017 to see some NASCAR racing, some pure racing. There's even more up for grabs in Germany. It's the semi-finals of the championship, which means it's double points. Who's going to claim the win and take the checkered flag first? Who's going to get maximum points? Welcome back to Hockenheimring. If you joined us earlier on today, you've seen a fantastic race for the 2018 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series Elite 1 division, with Loris Hasemans securing his first race victory in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series and the first victory for a Dutchman as well in the series. Well, it's Elite 2 that will be coming up very, very shortly here at Hockenheimring on the national circuit. We've still got one of the supporting races on the grid, so it will be a while before we see the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series competitors making their way out onto circuit. But at this iconic circuit, which first hosted the German Grand Prix back in 1970, we are making our second visit here, having first attended Hockenheim in 2017. So to show you around a lap of the circuit, who better to do so than new driver to the championship this year for Memphis Racing, Alexander Graff.
Welcome guys around Hockenheim ring for a lap with me, Alexander Graff, in the Chevrolet Camaro number 77 for Memphis Racing. We are right now at the main straight at the start of the lap, so we're going into the first corner right there. Oh, I missed a little bit, but what the heck, we're going full throttle anyway. Up to fourth gear, and then we're going quite hard braking down to second gear right there, and full throttle. Right now you can see the car is pendling a lot because we have a lot of power. It's almost 450 horsepower is those NASCAR cars, so it's tricky to handle everything without any kind of stabilization like ESP or traction control or ABS for that point also. So we're going here into the third corner. It's a double right one, and right now we are in the classic part of the track where the Mercedes Tribune is. This is a tricky one also because we don't need if you go in the second gear or third gear, but I presume I'm still going to stick in the second gear. Now we're at the drag strip up the third gear into this one, cutting some curves right there. Oh, missed a little bit, but use as much as the track as possible. Oh, and there we have a miss number 2 on this lap. But it's my first time right here, and we can see I'm going to do an overtake right there. Oh, on the outside, nice. And you can see me going through the last corner right there, trying to do as good lap as possible. But it's the first time right here, so there you got it.
So a super insight into what it's like to propel one of these 5.7-litre V8 400 brake horsepower machines, the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series cars, around this 3.7-kilometre circuit. And I'm delighted to say that joining me in the commentary box for the Elite 2 race that will be coming up very shortly is the man that we've just been on board with that very lap, Alexander Graff. Alexander, welcome along.
Thanks a lot, and it's nice to be here. First time in the commentary box.
Well, we'll make it easy for you. We'll make it nice and easy for you. Don't worry. You've already been out there. You raced in Elite 1 earlier on. Just tell us a little bit about your race in Elite 1. It was going well, and it didn't quite end as well as we all hoped.
No, exactly. We had a really good start. I started in P7 this race. I was up in P4 after just the first lap. But, yeah. We had a little bit of struggle. I mean, I was up in third for the best position, and on the last lap, I had a little bit of an incident with the Goosens. I don't know actually what happened, but I ended out with a puncture and ended up P9 instead of maybe a podium.
Frustrating end to the race, but you know, you're new to this championship. Memphis Racing are new to the championship. We've seen a win for the car, but in the hands of Guillaume de Flandre, who drives it in Elite 2. But the pace you've had this weekend, it looks good for tomorrow.
thanks a lot. Yeah, I think we have done some good improvements for over the whole season, but I think we have done the best this race. So I'm really thankful for the pace we have done this week, and I hope we can do something good tomorrow also.
Oh, let's hope so. You'll see on the pictures, ladies and gentlemen, that there are cars going around the circuit at the moment. That's because we've got one of the support races here. The Mitjet Series France is out there on circuit at the moment. You can see there the fantastic Baden-Württemberg Centre, which actually shows our commentary position. We're let's have a look. We're on the left, the top floor, and the windows towards the left. You can probably see us waving, actually. If we waved, you might almost be able to see us from. I'm not convinced you can, actually, with the tinted windows. But, you know, it is a wonderful facility here. You know, you're obviously, you've done a lot of racing back in Sweden and still racing V8 Thunder out there, lying second in the championship at the moment. But you come to this circuit and modern facilities, a current Grand Prix circuit, but you also get the sense of the history here at Hockenheim.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's a classic Formula 1 tarmac, and it's amazing to be here to racing at this big circuit, which I never been before. So I'm really happy to be here, and I hope it will be a standing point for Euro NASCAR in a couple of years forward.
You made me chuckle earlier on, just before we went live as well, because you all saw the onboard lap, ladies and gentlemen, and I gather there was a little bit of banter going on between yourself and a certain Mr. Alex Sedgwick, who also races in Elite One. Just talk us through having Alex seen that onboard lap, and what did he say?
Yeah, Alex saw it on social media, and he was telling me over my Facebook that he finds some good spots where he could find some time, and yeah, he beat me in Super Pole, so I think it's not too good to show you what we're doing out there, but yeah, it's good.
Nice to see the onboard lap, but yeah, you give a few of your little secrets away. We saw a win in the Elite One race earlier on. We've got about a 20-minute delay, ladies and gentlemen, before we get things underway. So it gives Alex and I the time to have a chat, which, you know, bear with us at all. You know, if you want to go and put the kettle on or grab yourselves a drink, absolutely, you're about 20 minutes away from the race starting. But if you want to sort of understand a bit more about NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and Alexander Graff is a great person to do so. We saw a win for Loris Hazemans earlier on, driver who came through the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series driver recruitment program, and that's exactly what you did as well. You know, that's where you think about that NASCAR might be something for you. You submitted your resume to info@euronascar.com, and here you are now. But just talk us through, you know, that program, and is it important? You know, did it work for you? Clearly it did.
Yeah, it was really important. I mean, after 2017's year back in Sweden, I was wondering what we are going to do for 2018. So I saw the recruitment day in Euro NASCAR, and I sent them a mail and talk about what I have done before, and I was in it. And then we were like, well, I think it was 140 drivers that was testing the car in 4 different days, and I was on the last day in Franciacorta.
In Italy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Loris was also there. We were a couple of really, really good guys and girls who was testing the car, and I fell in love with it directly.
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity, isn't it? Because it gives you, providing that the series organisers are happy for you to go in the car. That's why you have to submit your resume. Only when they're happy do they let you in it. But it's a free test, isn't it? It's a free opportunity to test whether you like the car, whether it works for you, but equally as much to give the organisers the confidence that you're the right kind of person to come into the championship.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just came there to Franciacorta and was very welcomed by the whole Euro NASCAR family. Jerome and Anne was there, and they were, I don't know, it felt like it was 50 guys who was working for FJ Racing and took so good care of us. And I was able to try the car 3 times. Did a really good lap times for the first time on Franciacorta and the first time in the car, and I think that just came to Franciacorta to test the car and to get to know the people around the Euro NASCAR. That was the key point for us to make the opportunity to do this season.
And how different is the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series to what you've raced in the past? I know you spent a bit of time in the Swedish Touring Car Championship, for instance, but obviously you've done a lot in Swedish V8 Thunder as well. So, again, big V8 American muscle cars.
Yeah, I have been in the V8 series for a couple of years now, and the biggest thing between V8 Thunder cars and the Euro NASCAR is definitely the precisions with the V8 Thunder car, and the Euro NASCAR is like you go in a wrestling match.
You sort of have to get it by the scruff of the neck and wrestle it round.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's no ABS, there's no traction control. And it's difficult to, the way I would say it in English is that, and it sounds as though I'm being derogatory about the car, and I'm really not, but it's a proper old school engineered car. There are no gizmos to driver comforts for you. It's quite agricultural, but it works, and it's a real driver's car.
Yeah. You never have a boring lap in this one. You always love every lap you do in the car, and that's one key point in this.
Well, I've not driven one. I've not driven one as yet, but I have been in around the Brands Hatch Indy circuit in the passenger seat of one with Christophe Bouchou a couple of seasons ago. And from the passenger seat, for someone that's done a little bit of racing, but a long time ago, the first few laps you can feel that the car has way more power than you can put down because the tyres are cold. And as soon as the tyres get warmer and you can put a bit more power down, you soon realise that the car still has way more power than you can ever put down.
Yeah. And I was looking at it after we were in Brands Hatch. I know Time Attack, which is often really fast.
Yeah, modified cars that just try and set the ultimate lap time.
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking at those lap times from some of the really, how would you say, social media famous Time Attack cars, and I tried to see how fast is the Euro NASCAR car, and it was like half a second after, and that's really, really, really fast.
So they are very fast cars, and much faster than other cars, which cost 10 times the money.
Yeah, exactly. This is you can get so much out of those cars. I mean, the lap times and the cost of it. It's you don't do it cheaper and faster.
Well, I know that you came in and had your first races at Valencia in Spain at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. I think we've got some footage, so what we can do maybe is the first rounds of the championship, of the 2018 championship, took place. It was mid-April that we visited Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, so maybe now's the time to just have a look at what happened on the Saturday, the first races of the season in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. So they were the first couple of races that took place on the Saturday at Valencia. It was a win in the Elite 1 division for the reigning champion, Alan Day. And in Elite 2, well, Wilfred Busenna got his championship off in 2018 to the best possible start. Well, that was the Saturday. Let's just have a quick look back at what happened on the Sunday at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. So double wins at Circuit Ricardo Tormo, a pair of wins for Alan Day, a pair of wins for, well, Wilfried Busenna, which got their championships off to the best possible start. We saw a brief glimpse of you in there as well, Alexander Graff. You know, it's not just the on-circuit activity. You're involved with the autograph sessions with the fans as well. You know, it's a real fan fest. You know, we call it American Fan Fest here, but it absolutely is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really big fan fest, and it's for the whole family. I mean, we can see small children coming with NASCAR overalls and t-shirts, jackets, everything. So it's definitely a fan fest everywhere we come.
And the brand as well, you know, to be associated with NASCAR. It's the only series outside of North America that has that branding as well. You know, they've got series obviously in America, in Mexico, in Canada, but it's important to have that market over here for NASCAR, and great for us to have that badge.
Of course it is. I mean, I have not been that. I got new followers. I got new people that coming and look at this championship. They have never seen this before. I came into it, so I think we have managed in Sweden to make it more interesting. And I mean, we had a couple of guys that are really hard-headed into NASCAR in Sweden. So I think we are going to improve more of that in Sweden and keep up the more interesting around it.
And for you guys, you know, back to you again before we sort of maybe have a look at some more highlights very shortly. But for you, it's an enormous commitment for you and the Memphis Racing team, because all of the other teams are all based in, whether it be France or Germany or Italy or Belgium. You're based in Sweden, so logistically, there's a lot of road miles involved.
Yeah, we have. I think we have. I was driving in 6,000 kilometers from Sweden to Blois, over to UK, back to Blois, and back home again in about 2 weeks. Just
to make sure that the car was, you know, with a mixture of testing, with the car being back at the Team FJ factory, having some work done. Yeah, so an enormous commitment and lots of hours put in. You know, that's just driving, let alone all the hours in the workshop preparing the thing. So, and yeah, it was a car that raced in the. You said it was one that raced in the
in the Race of Champions.
Race of Champions, exactly. I couldn't think of the word. Race of Champions, yeah.
Yeah, it was David Coulthard's old car, if you can say so. I would like to say it, because...
who, of course, for a period of time was associated with that three-pointed star that stands on the top of the Baden-Württemberg Centre here. That's our commentary position, but also the people on the top, they're your spotters, aren't they? You know, so they've got a fantastic view from up there. You've been up, have you, to see the spotters' view?
I was up there yesterday to see my teammate, what he was doing on track, and see if I can give him some advices, and also talk to my spotter, because I know it's new places every time we go in this area. I mean, our team have never been to any tracks before, except Francicorta when we were there at the recruitment day, but all other tracks are new for us, so we need to see everything from all the points that we can do.
And while you've mentioned, you know, you were looking at the view, and when your teammate was out there, of course, we will see Guillaume de Flandre out there in the race that will be coming up very shortly. Apologies for the delay, ladies and gentlemen, but stay tuned with us here, ready for round 9 of the 2018 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. The fans are hanging around, that's absolutely for sure. Huge amounts of grandstands here, but there are some of them are open to the fans and others aren't, but they've sort of spread themselves around this arena section. What I was going to say, Alex, is don't worry if come the end of the race, you need to go and celebrate with the team. You don't have to hang around for us. Go down and enjoy the moment with the team, depending on how Guillaume gets on. And we hope that he can improve from 6th on the grid, which is where he'll start.
Yeah.
So just to let you know that. So just while we're waiting for the race still to get underway, it's about 3 minutes before the checkered flag falls on the race that's out on circuit at the moment. You can still see the cars circulating in the background. So we've already had a quick look at what happened at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Well, now maybe we could go and have a quick look at what happened in the second rounds of the series. You mentioned you did your test day at Franciacorta, so let's have a look and see what happened in Italy for rounds 3 and 4 of the 2018 season. So on the Saturday, round 3 of the championship in Elite 1, it was 3 wins out of the 3 races for the current champion, Alan Day. And, well, in the Elite 2 division, we saw a 3rd NASCAR Whelen Euro Series win for the Brazilian driver, Felipe Rebelo. But that only tells half of the story. That was the Saturday. Let's see what happened on the Sunday in Italy. Well, in Italy, taking the checkered flag first was Alan Day, but ultimately, post-race, there was a small technical issue with the car that meant that he was disqualified from that race. So Lucas Lesser, the former champion, claimed ultimately the honours, and for Guillaume Dumoulin, it was his first NASCAR Whelen Euro Series win. And it just goes to show you that we see drivers coming in all of the time, and Guillaume Dumoulin has been around the championship for a good number of years. He's not out racing this weekend, but it was his first NASCAR Whelen Euro Series win. His brother, Maxime, has also taken a win as well. So both of the Dumoulin family have now claimed wins in the championship. So the checkered flag is about to fall on the support race. Only once that has happened can we then start to get the NASCARs out onto the grid, and then we've got all of the pre-race build-up as well. So there's still time if you just need to zap away maybe and make yourselves a drink before we then get this 17-lap race underway in about 10 to perhaps 15 minutes time for the Elite 2 division here for round 9 of the championship season. We're joined in the commentary box by the Elite 1 driver Alexander Graff. And Alexander, just looking at Franciacorta there, I saw a brief clip. Was that not the number 77 Memphis car that had a spin there? Was that you?
Yeah, it was me. I did a little bit of burnout there. Now I got a little touch in the back of the car, but we didn't have the engine with us that race. It was gone before the race even started. I was even hard to keep up the speed with the safety car.
Crumbs.
So I had a couple of first lap which was really hard, and yeah, then the car went to blow out, and we had a new engine for Brands Hatch.
So hopefully at Brands Hatch in Kent, and that was where the championship went to as the next of the races. We'll have a look at some highlights from that in a short while. So your first season, Memphis Racing's first season, plans for 2019. You know, are you going to be staying with us and looking to absolutely go for wins?
Yeah, of course. We are working right now to perhaps have 2 cars next year.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be a real deal for us, actually. We hope that we can bring more guys from Sweden. Perhaps we will go with the guys from Finland to join us. We have a couple of guys from Finland right now.
We do. Yeah, some very quick ones as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we will see what happens, but at least we can be 1 car, perhaps 2 cars.
Yeah, well, I suppose in the Alex Graff Motorsport Ford Mustang this weekend, we've got drivers that you'll know very well, as indeed Henry Tuamala, who claimed a Challenger win. Yeah. He was the first of the Challenger cars home in the race earlier on. And we've also got Jesse Vartiainen this weekend. And then there's also another Finnish driver, is there not, that is further down through the order, which is Ian-Erik Varden, another driver that, again, very similar to you, a mixture of Camaro Cup, V8 Thunder, and Legends as well. Yeah. You know, very popular little championships over in Scandinavia.
Exactly. It was 2 weeks ago I raced against those 3 guys from Finland. We were over to Finland to race at a fantastic track there. Yeah, now they are here racing with us.
So it's great to see them out there and racing. I just turned the volume down in my headset slightly as one of the engineers has just tinkered with the noise that was coming through into my headset. And yeah, we can see that the fans are all waiting very, very patiently, as are we here, waiting for the cars to come out. So after we had been to Italy at Franciacorta, it was then time to head to Brands Hatch in the south of Kent, former Grand Prix circuit, of course, that has been the home to the British round of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series for what is 6 years now, for American Speedfest. So let's have a quick look at what happened on the Saturday in the UK at Brands Hatch. So at Brands Hatch, it was a win on the Saturday for Fred Gabion. In the process, he claimed his 10th win in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, but his first of the 2018 season. He, of course, comes into this weekend prior to the race that we had earlier on, leading the championship. And it was a win, well, for your car, was it not? The number 77 car of Guillaume de Flandre, who we'll see out in this race, claimed the first victory for your team, your car, Memphis Racing.
Yeah, exactly. It was our very first win in the Euro NASCAR, and it was amazing. I don't know if everyone saw it on TV before, but the crankshaft was broken, and the guys was one of my spotters, the only spotter. I mean, he was running from the spotters. What do you say?
Position,
spotters room on the other side of the track at Brands Hatch, running down all the way to the car. Grab a crankshaft out of the spare shop, and we managed to put the car together with only 1 second before the pit was closed.
Wow!
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
No, but he was going out on the pole position spot, and yeah, he took the win.
No time to check that everything was okay. Just
No.
Get the car out there.
There was so much vibration in the car that he couldn't hold the gear shifter.
It didn't stop him claiming the win. That was on the Saturday, so let's go back to Brands Hatch and see what happened on the Sunday. The cars at least now are nosing out of the garage, so it won't be long before they're released onto the grid, but we've still got the grid build-up to do. So let's go back to Brands Hatch and see what happened on the Sunday in the UK. So in the second of the races at Brands Hatch, we saw a win, and the first win in Elite 1 for Gianmarco Ercoli, and in the Elite 2 race it was a win for Florian Venturi. Well, now at last we can see, apologies for the delay ladies and gentlemen, but the cars making their way out onto the grid, and we can see a few drivers weaving from side to side to maybe put a bit of temperature into the tyres, but that's not going to do a great deal, because you'll do that but then they'll sit on the grid.
Yeah, exactly. You need to try to build up a little bit of pressure and temperature into the tires, but then you were standing on the main straight, wait for the track to be clear and to do the race. So right now it just gives you a little bit of feeling about the car and build up the pressure and the temperature.
Yeah, just to check that the car's doing as you were expecting. I was racing a car over in the UK a few weekends ago, and I could tell there was something not quite right with it. So as the safety car was out there, I was pulling out of the stream and hitting the brakes, and you could feel it pulling to the left. So I knew there was a problem. You know, it just didn't feel planted. And that's what some of these drivers are doing. You know, the teams will have had the wheels off. They might have bled the brakes again. They might have done a pad change. All of those sorts of things. So it's the only chance you get as a racing driver out of the pit lane onto the grid, just to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, every car right here has done a race before today.
Yep.
And that's not really often. So you need to see if everything is correct, and if something is wrong with the car, you can talk to one outright from NASCAR, and they will do a safety check on the car. You will not allowed to do any adjustments on the car. You are only allowed to do the tire pressure. But if there is something safety, you need to check it out.
Yeah, and the team will allow you to do that. The officials will allow you to check that out, and then carry out anything that's necessary to remove that safety issue. Safety is obviously paramount in motorsport. So we see the cars heading onto the grid. They don't come out in any particular order, so the grid will slowly form up. We can see the team members heading out onto the grid as well as all of the VIPs will make their way out there. So whilst we're still waiting for the grid to fill up, we've had a look at what happened in Spain at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. We've had a quick look to see what happened at Autodromo di Franciacorta for the Italian round for NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. We've been to Brands Hatch in the UK, but we haven't been to where the last couple of races took place, which is the only oval circuit that we have on the calendar this year, Tour Speedway in France. So let's have a look at what happened in the first day of racing there. Very special event, the Oval World Challenge. Let's look back and see what happened. So on the Saturday, it was two French drivers that stood on the top of the podium at the NASCAR Grand Prix of France. Fred Gabillon claiming a win, and Ulysse Delceau at the wheel of his car also managing to back that up with another victory. And Ulysse Delceau, that was his second ever NASCAR Whelen Euro Series win. The Tour Speedway, something a little bit different. That was the Saturday. Let's just catch up with the last race that we had prior to coming into this weekend, and it was round 8 of the championship on the Sunday in France. So in the Sunday races, it was an Elite 2 win for Ulysse Delceau, meaning he claimed a double victory at his home NASCAR Grand Prix, and that means that he comes into this race now that is lining up on the grid in the lead of the championship on 243 points. He has a 24-point advantage over Guillaume de Flandre, who of course is driving the car that we saw you race. You know, Guillaume has had a great start to this season. We've seen him claim a win. He's had 3 third places. He's had a couple of fifths as well. You know, he's been quick this year in your car.
Yeah, he has, and I think he's. I think he likes to be with us. I think so, and I mean, of course we are new in this game. We need to improve even more. But you can see, yeah, a couple of one win and a couple of podiums.
And so he gave your team its first ever NASCAR Whelen Euro Series win. Last year he was racing for Racing Total,
yeah,
and gave them their first ever NASCAR Whelen Euro win as well. You know, he's straight out of karting into cars. He was a former runner-up in the Belgian Championship, but still only 23 years of age. So he's got, you know, a lot of career ahead of him still.
Yeah, of course, and we want to work with him even more. And he has done a really good job for our team this year. I mean, we were 5 in the team championship in front of this race.
So it's you know, as a team, it's been a great start to the season. If you could have seen where you are now coming into this weekend, and you'd have at the beginning of the season said, absolutely, we'll go for that. We're happy with that. But as a racing driver and as a team, you always want more.
Of course, you want more. I mean, he's a winner. I'm a winner. The team is a winner. Of course, you want more. But we are 5th in the championship in the team. Guillaume is 2nd in Elite 2, and I don't know actually where I am right now, but I was 13 in front of this weekend.
What we need to do is we need to get you inside the top 6. We want to see you on the podium. That's what we want.
Yeah,
you can
the
do
same
that.
for me.
You can do,
I'm trying.
Not for want of trying. After Hockenheim, we head to the American Festival NASCAR Finals in Zolder. Both here in Germany and Zolder, double points in the championship. So it's not 40 points for a race win, it's 80 points for a race win, and 2 races over a weekend, that's 160. All the drivers have been saying you are not going to win the championship in the single point races. It's these final 4 races, 2 here and 2 in Zolder, where you're either going to win the championship, or if you have a non-finish, that's going to lose you the championship.
Yeah, that's right, and that means that you need to be a little bit more calm in the racing here at Hockenheim and to Zolder, and you need to get the car to the finish line. You cannot be in the gravel or in the wall or or in the pit box. You need to finish the race, and you need to finish in a good point standings.
I think I was saying, I think it was the Brands Hatch event where, you know, we've got 6 circuits that we go to. There are 12 races in each of the divisions. So you could argue, after round 6 at Brands Hatch, we're at the halfway point of the championship, because that's 6 races done, 6 races to go. But mathematically, it's only when we come to Hockenheim we reach the halfway point of the championship, because the points available in the first 8 rounds are exactly the same points available as in the final 4.
Yeah, yeah. And our strategy in the team was like, in the first 4 races we need to learn something about it. And if we can be almost top 10 until we go to Hockenheim, we can be in the game at the end of the season. We were 13 in front of this weekend, and I think we managed to do some jumps in the standings after the first race, even if I didn't get that good result that I wanted to.
I can see how it must be so frustrating. It really must be. We can see the build-up to the race. All of the cars are now on the grid. You can, well, not really see them. The grid is absolutely packed. We've got our dancing girls, our pom-pom girls on the front of the grid as well. As and when the race is ready to go, we will see all of the VIPs leave the grid. They'll be left with the team members beside each one of the cars. The drivers will also be out of their cars at the moment, and then we will have the national anthems being played, and then of course our Grand Marshal will say those infamous words to ask the drivers to start their engines, and then and only then can we start to get this 17-lap race underway. I was talking to Advait Dioda, who was joining us in the commentary box earlier on. When you're on the grid, as the cars are now, and we'll go through the grid very, very shortly, you've got lots more experience than Advait had earlier on. Do you still get nervous when you're on the grid?
Yeah, you can feel a little bit of tense going on. You can feel the pulse
is jumping up a couple of tenths, but of course you still keep calm. You focus on what's important in front of the race. I mean, if you start in the back or if you start in the front, what are you going to do? What can you do for the championship? But of course, you will always get a little higher pulse when it's time to race.
Just as the nerves very slightly start to build. So the track is now being vacated by the officials, so we're almost ready to go here. We're looking at the frontward shot. If we can get the backward shot again, we might just be able to then guide you through the grid, because we've got a few too many people being able to pick out the cars for you and their colours as the grid is being cleared. So hopefully the director will give us the shot that's from the roof looking at the back of the grid looking forwards, and then we can sort of pick out some of the cars. The car that's at the very front of the grid is a nice easy one. Perfect, there we go. At the front of the grid, so on the right hand side, that is pole position. So the half black half white car, you can just see T-Pack written down the back of it. That is the RDV competition Toyota Camry number 3 in the hands of Ulysse Delso, the championship leader. And alongside him on that front row of the grid, it looks black, but it's actually a very dark grey, but with the light blue flashes across the rear spoiler on that one. That is the Knauf Racing Ford Mustang number 73 in the hands of Paul Guillot. The fans still enjoying the sunshine here at Hockenheim as we look towards the second row of the grid. And if we can get the shot again that we had, maybe, then we can guide you through the colours on that second row of the grid. It should be, it's a largely black car, but it's got some day-glow yellow flashes to it. The Ford Mustang from Racing Total, number 46, in the hands of Justin Kuntz, will line up there on the second row of the grid. He'll be hoping for good things. It's his home NASCAR Grand Prix, of course, with being a resident of Germany. And alongside him on that row of the grid, it's the Go Fast Racing Ford Mustang, the leading rookie in the field that we had, having his first season of racing in the Elite 2 division, number 32, which is Florian Venturi. He's also, I think, one of the youngest drivers that we've got in the field, just 17 years of age compared to the oldest that's out there, which I think is 67, which is Thomas Fritsch. So it really is, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're old or young, there's a place for you in NASCAR. There we go. So there is the two cars on the second row of the grid. Row 3 of the grid, it's the white car. You just see the light blue flash down the centre of it. That's number 37, Willy Busenna, another one of the Knauf Racing Ford Mustangs. And alongside him, it looks all black from the back, but you just see the yellow roof to it. That's the car that I know Alexander Graff, to my right, will be cheering on. That is Guillaume de Flandre at the wheel of his Chevrolet Camaro. Yeah, Alexander punching the air. That's the one he's cheering on. Remaining impartial is he? Yeah, he doesn't favour anybody other than his car. The fourth row of the grid, number 2, that's the black car. You can just see it flashing its lights, actually. It's as though he's listening to us, the brake lights coming on and off. That is Kenko Miura at the wheel of the Alex Graff Racing Toyota Camry. And alongside is number 90, it's the blue car with the red stripes down the centre of it for Brax Racing, the Chevrolet Camaro for this weekend, which is Pedro Bonet. The fifth row of the grid is number 11. It's a black car, but it's got white front to it, which is going to be the PK Carsport car in the hands of race winner earlier on this season. As off they head onto their final warming up lap, it's the Brazilian driver Felipe Rebelo, and alongside him it's number 1, a rookie in the championship, and that is the Alex Graff Racing Ford Mustang of Jesse Vartian, and a driver who you know lots about, the Finnish driver joining us. The 6th row of the grid, it's number 44 for Cal Racing, the Chevrolet in the hands of the man from Luxembourg, Gilles Linster, who will be joining us in the commentary box tomorrow for the Elite 1 race. We'll have him up in the commentary box tomorrow afternoon. And for company, he has got number 41, which I've got to say, I like the livery on this one this weekend. It's a change of livery for the Club Motorsports Ford Mustang. It's white with pink and light green, which is Max Lancer. And then just to give you the next row of the grid, which is row number 7, it's number 91, former world cycling champion Tom Bonan with his Chevrolet Camaro for Brax Racing, alongside the BVR Motorsport car of the Italian driver Pier Luigi Veronesi. Elite 2 division, you've seen some of the racing out there. I know you've got the number 77 car that you'll be focused on, but this is the most unpredictable division. There are so many drivers out there that are more than capable of winning this race, Alexander.
Yes, of course, and it's guys and girls coming from all around the world, and they are they have a lot of different experience in racing, and you cannot predict anyone to win these races, and you have a really good top, and you have a real nice bounce of racing drivers all the way
from the top to the bottom.
And there's always somebody to race with as well, because whilst we've got the Elite 2 Championship, there are championships within that. We've got the Legend Trophy, which is for bronze category drivers aged 40 or over at the beginning of the season that race in Elite 2, and I'm eligible for that, which is rather scary. We've got the Rookie Championship, which for drivers entered in Elite 2 racing in their first season in the series, and we also have the Lady Cup, which is for women drivers that are entered in Elite 2 as well. So we will have separate podium presentations for all of those. We will also, if you're watching us and follow us on social media, on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram, then we will be picking up some post-race reaction from the winners of each of our 4 categories that are out there. So it's not just the overall winners we grab quick interviews with at the end of the race. The Legend Trophy winner, the Rookie Cup winner and the Lady Trophy winner will all have a quick 60-second interview, and that will be posted on social media probably within an hour, couple of hours after this 17-lap race that's about to get underway. Conditions ideal out there. There's very little wind. It's cooled off a little bit now, so this is going to help the drivers and the cars, Alexander?
Yeah, it always does. I mean, if it's too hot, it's even hotter in the car. I mean, at the tours, I was burning my feet off, so I was quite pleasured that it was a safety car in the end of the race, so I can just get a little bit more air into the car.
I mean, that was sort of the ambient temperature,
yeah.
But it's also the heat soak, isn't it? Coming through the engine, the transmission, everything.
Yeah, everything. I mean, the tires, especially. You need to take care of the tires. The BF Goodrich tires that we wear on the cars, you need to manage to have them really good pace for the next race tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah, because as we said earlier on, there's only 2 new tyres available to each driver in Elite 1 and Elite 2. The car uses all 4 tyres for qualifying, but they get split. 2 go to Elite 1, 2 go to Elite 2, and the others are carried over from previous rounds. So the black and the white car is Ulysse Delceau. The dark grey car with the light blue flash is Paul Guillaume. We finally get the Elite 2 race underway. 17 laps, don't forget. We do have the possibility of a green-white checkered if needs be. Neat 2x2 order. They're not quite nose to tail. Lights go green, and it's a good start from Justin Kuntz, who waits for the lights to go before he pulls out of the train, but Ulysse Delceau will lead up towards turn 1. Justin Kuntz looking for the inside on what was Paul Guillaume. There's a few cars running very wide by the look of things out at turn 1. That's largely, I think, to avoid any contact, but Ulysse Delceau leads. Paul Guillaume is there in 2nd place, and it's going to be Willy Busenna, is it? Up to 3rd position from 5th place on the grid. Of course, we saw Willy racing in the Elite 1 race earlier on today, and he's had a fantastic start at the start of Elite 2. It looks as though, Alexander Graff, they're all largely through the first couple of corners without problem.
Yeah, everyone wants to race the race and don't finish in the gravel trap in the first corner. So, they have an old trick there.
Yep, Florian Venturi up the inside of Justin Kuntz, and now Guillaume de Flandre at the wheel of the number 77 Memphis racing car. He's going to follow him through. Place gained for de Flandre there, who is looking now to try and hang on to that position. Big queue of cars behind him now that he's taken the place, but it was a good move as Justin Kuntz was put offline, and your car gains a place.
Yeah, de Flandre was awake, which I like to see, and he took the little bit of spot there he was.
Yep, so place gain for the 23-year-old Belgian driver at the wheel of that number 77 car. There is the number 32 car that he's now looking to try and close in on, which is Florian Venturi. Say just 17 years of age. He finished 3rd in the Formula 4 Championship in France last year, converting from single-seaters over to big NASCARs, so a little to get to grips with, weight transfer and all of those sorts of things that he's really got to get to grips with. But if you're talented enough, you're capable of doing it, and Florian Venturi has shown that in bucket loads this season so far. Ulysse Delceau leading the race. The 2 Knauf cars nose to tail for 2nd place. Paul Guillaume having a great qualifying session, but coming under pressure from the 2009 Elite 2 champion, Willy Busenna. He's not going to do anything now as they head into the braking area for Bernie Eccleston cover. So the 2 Knauf cars line astern at the moment for 2nd and 3rd place. Number 32 Go Fast Racing Machine of Florian Venturi is there in 4th place. Guillaume de Flandre there in 5th place, and Justin Kuntz is in 6th position. Another car that has made good progress is Felipe Rebelo, the Brazilian, who was quickest in qualifying, but come Super Pole, he didn't hook the lap together. Started 9th. The Brazilian driver, a race winner, is up to 7th.
Yeah, it's not that easy. If you manage to do a really good qualification lap, you maybe not have spot on with the tires until the Super Pool, and maybe something like that happened for Rebelo.
Pedro Bonnet at the wheel of the number 90 Brax racing car, the blue car with the red numbers down the side. He's under enormous pressure, runs wide though by the look of things, and is that a problem with his car that's forced him wide, because the car seemed to slow all of a problem there all of a sudden. There was issues with that car when it was in the hands of Alex Sedgwick in the Elite 1 race, so maybe Brax Racing thought they got it sorted, or it could possibly be something entirely different. So he's pulled off the circuit, hopefully out of harm's way. Oh, trying to get up the inside was Max Lancer there, but that didn't quite work, did he? Your fellow Scandinavian, Jesse Vartiernem, just hanging on to the place.
Yeah, it's not that move you see every day, not in that corner. But hey, you give him. Oh, there we have overtake. It's one of the Knauf car. It's Buchena.
It is.
He's going on Guid.
Yeah, Paul Geard losing a place to Willy Buchena, and now they are teammates, and therefore you could argue that there was probably a conversation went on there, because Willy Buchena is in a better championship position, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So it's a team, maybe a little bit of this decision, but yeah, you see if Guidi is going to break up the other guys a little bit to make Buchena get a little bit of space.
That would be sensible, wouldn't you? Just back them up a bit. Yeah. That's what we'll look to try and do now.
Oh, sorry. You can see the Go Fast car with Venturis trying to close the gap, and we also have the Flandres pushing really hard from behind, and also Justin Kantz coming back in the race again.
He is, all of a sudden, the Racing Total car of Justin Kuntz looking to try and close in again a shade more, as the cars are already onto what is their third lap of the race. There is the number 46 car of Justin Kuntz sitting there in 6th position. Guillaume de Flandre, is he going to have a nibble here at the number 32 car of Florian Venturi? No, the Ford Mustang just ahead of the Chevy at this stage, so the Go Fast Racing machine ahead of the Memphis prepared car, and as they then flick their way up towards what will be the final couple of corners here, so through Sudkurva they come, through the right-hander that brings them back onto the start-finish straight. That's the end of another 3.7 kilometres, but we have got off the circuit, that is Pedro Bonnet, who we saw the car slow out on circuit. Now, is that him, or is that maybe, do you think that might be Ian-Eric Varden?
Yeah, I think so. I think it looked like the Mishimuto car was standing there into the first corner.
So if that's the case, hopefully it's out of harm's way and can just be covered by localised yellow rather than go full course caution. A little bit of smoke, I was spotting that exactly the same time as you. A bit of smoke coming out from Florian Venturi's car. Now that seemed to be there, I thought it was the unloaded wheel as he went through the corner, but it seems like most of the cars are doing it down there. So do you think there might be something on the track, or...?
I was thinking about something like the rear fender was pushing into the tire, but it doesn't seem like anything right now.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one for the moment. The number 32 Go Fast Racing Ford of Florian Venturi, still under pressure from the number 77 machine of Guillaume de Flandre. This is for what is 4th, 5th and 6th place, because Justin Kuntz, who lost a couple of positions earlier on, is now coming back. Remember, Kuntz started 3rd on the grid for his home NASCAR Grand Prix. He's currently circulating at the wheel of that Racing Total car in what is 6th position, but he's involved in a great little battle. And whilst they are squabbling ahead, that's going to keep him right there. There you can see the cars still all together. We're on lap number 4 at this stage. They've all gone green so far. This is all really helping our race leader, Ulysse Delceau, because in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th places, there's not a great deal of space between the cars. They're all in the same shots there, which means that Ulysse Delceau is almost 3 seconds up the road, isn't he?
Yeah, it is, and he has the fastest lap time with almost 1 second. So he's gaining a gap right now. He had pink sectors everywhere, so he's the fastest guy out there right now.
And of course, the lap they set, the fastest lap they set in this one, is important, as Florian Venturi looks at the inside of Paul Guillaume for 3rd position, gets the car stopped. Now that also opens up a bit of a gap maybe for Guillaume de Flandre to try and capitalise on, round the outside of the left-hander that brings them round and onto the Parabolica, and if he's made it stick, that would then give him the inside line for the double apex right-hander that they will be heading up to at the moment. Has he been able to go through? Well, it didn't quite work by the look of it, because it looks as though de Flandre has lost the place now. Justin Kuntz has managed to get ahead.
Yeah, maybe de Flandre was going on the outside, out on the curbs and out in the grass, and didn't manage to put all the 400 brake horsepower down in the tarmac and get the getaway.
And of course, yeah, if you get the getaway there, you don't make it, then you're going to get picked off down the straight and in towards that hairpin. So it looks as though that's what's happened there. Justin Kuntz is now up into 5th place, and Guillaume de Flandre has dropped down into 6th position all of the time, of course, whilst his main championship rival, Ulysse Delceau, is out front and leading and pulling away, 3.8 seconds to the good. And I was about to make the point before that overtake that the lap time you set in this race gives us the grid for tomorrow's race. Whoever sets the fastest lap starts from pole tomorrow, so it's important, isn't it? And in clear air, Ulysse Delceau can concentrate on just that.
Yeah, from now he could just manage to go on the rear mirror on the car, just to see how far is he from the other guys, just how much do I need to push the car, and to see if he needs to do anything about it, or if he just can manage to go.
Guillaume de Flandre, here we go, and looking to try and retake and pass Justin Kuntz. Justin Kuntz, the German, having absolutely none of it at this stage, so they flick their way out of Bernie-Eccleston Curve and then through the left-hander that brings them onto this straight down in towards the Parabolica once more. Has he been able to hang on to the place? They're still side by side. Kuntz has got the inside line as they head in towards the right-hand hairpin, so Guillaume de Flandre is trying everything at the wheel of your car, but hasn't as yet been able to repass the German, has he? Is this the opportunity coming out of the corner? Not quite.
No, he was running too wide, but here he's going on the inside in. Yeah, he takes it.
He did, yeah, good driving. Justin Kuntz saw him coming, could have turned in, wanted to avoid the contact, conscious the fact there's double points available, but he's now put him under pressure from Felipe Rebello, who's drawn himself alongside. I'm not sure whether there was just a slight tap between the pair of them, but either way, the Brazilian goes through, so 2 places lost for Justin Kuntz. They were close. I'm not sure whether there was contact or not, but the Brazilians gained the place.
Yeah, and we need to think that Gillam is going for the championship. So he not need to push every position. He needs to take the points, and I think Justin doesn't in the game right now for the championship.
No, he's not. Justin Kuntz is further down in the championship standings. He's had a 2nd place. That was at Tours on the oval, but that's his only top 6 finish so far this year. That is Paul Guillaume running very, very, very wide indeed, coming out of Ravenel Curve, which is turn number 1 here at the Hockenheim ring. So that is maybe going to cost him 4th position. We'll have to try and keep an eye on that one. The rest of the cars all filing their way through. We ought to say the leading rookie in the field at the moment is number 32, which is Florian Venturi in 3rd position. Further down through the order, I think Mirko Schultes is the leading legend we've got in the trophy at the moment for the drivers aged 40 and over. He is circulating down in what is 16th position, and the leading lady that we've got in the field is the current Ladies' Cup champion and leads the Ladies' Cup championship this year in 21st position at the wheel of the Racing Total car. That is the Spanish driver, Carmen Boix Gil. So that's the individuals that we've got there. Ulysse Delceau just pulling away all the time. He's still opening up the gap, 4.4 seconds. He's now at the point that all he needs to do is control that gap, not overwork the tyres, and then that leaves the car in a strong position for tomorrow.
No, it's a golden place that he is right now. He can just manage to do the lap times he needed to do, just take care of the tyres, and just driving safe until the checkered flag.
We ought to say that the driver that joined us in the commentary box earlier on, Advait Dioda, has been given a drive-through penalty, so he has taken that penalty and has rejoined the circuit, but that has dropped the Deck Sweat DF Racing car further down through the order. And Ulysse Delceau looking to continually try and press on. He has set the fastest lap of the race that we have seen so far, with a time of a 1:34.1 exactly, and it is Wilfred Busenna, the number 37 car, in 2nd place now, but he's coming under pressure there. We just saw it up towards Bernie-Eccleston Curve, coming under pressure from Florian Venturi. There's number 11, that's Felipe Rebello, who has also now managed to get himself inside the top 6. So Justin Kuntz didn't start the race well, then came back, and all of a sudden the car seems to sort of drifted away again a little bit. So 10 laps still to go, looking towards the double apex right-hand hairpin. This is the battle for 4th and 5th place. Paul Guillaume managing to keep 2nd in the championship, Guillaume de Flandre behind as they come up towards the Mercedes Tribune. You can see there's another fight going on for what is 6th and 7th position. The Brazilian driver Felipe Rebello for PK Carsport, the number 11 machine, under pressure from 46, which is Justin Kuntz at the wheel of his Racing Total Ford Mustang. Doesn't matter where you look, they seem to have paired off at the moment, don't they? Each driver has somebody else to squabble with.
Yeah, they are, and we have
we have in the second and third place is a good fight, and you have it in fourth and fifth,
and
sixth
and
and seventh. And here we have three guys running quite tight also. It's Kenko Miura, Jesse Vartainen, and Jill Lindster.
Yeah, Jill Lindster, who will join us in the commentary box for one of the races tomorrow. So that little trio fighting away for 8th, 9th and 10th positions currently. And that's an important little fight as well that's going on, because that is for Kenko Miura and Jesse Vartainen, and that is for 2nd and 3rd in the Rookie Cup as well.
Yeah, exactly. And they are teammates.
The one thing they don't want to be doing then is taking each other out. Absolutely not. Golden rule, isn't it? Golden rule. You don't take your teammate out. So up towards the braking area for turn 1, Ravenel Curva again. You can just see the sweeping cars of Felipe Rebello and Justin Kutz going through. Here is the fight for 2nd and 3rd of the rookies. The Japanese driver Kenko Miura under pressure from the Finn, whilst the man from Luxembourg, Gilles Lindster, is not too far behind. And then there's another great little fight going on after that as well. That is the car of Tom Bonen, busy there. He's in 11th place. That was the blue car with the day glow flashes, but he got Max Lancer, Pierluigi Veronesi, and I think Hugo Beck all behind him as well. So that's a queue of about 4 or maybe 5 cars, is it, for positions from 11th through to about 15th or 16th. You could just see them, top left corner of your screen there, heading round through the hairpin. Great little race that's going on. We are on lap number 9 at the moment, so we are now past the half distance point.
Yeah, and it's really nice. I mean, we have a lot of fights overall over the whole track, and I'm just looking at the times right now to see if we have Wilfred Buchena and Flora Venturi is going to go a little bit slower than Paul Guid and Yolande de Flandre. Maybe we will have a fight for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Now that would be very good. That would be a bit like this squabble that we've got going on here at the moment. At the front of the chain is Kenko Miura, and at the back of the train, I think it might be even Maxime Pampel that's managed to catch up now as well. So looks as though Tom Bonen is, as we would say in the UK, the cork in the bottle really. He's holding everything back that sits behind him at the moment. Here they come over the start-finish line. Kenko Miura doing a fantastic job. Another driver that, you know, he must be shattered at the end of a weekend, because he races in both Elite 1 and in Elite 2, and we've heard from the likes of you, these are physical cars to drive, so when you do both Elite 1 and Elite 2, it's a busy weekend, and he's doing a great job of keeping everybody behind. How difficult, or how much would you want to do all of the races over a weekend?
I hope that Kenko has a lot of underwear and overalls and helmets and shoes,
because everything just gets very sweaty and very hot and very warm. Right, okay. I wondered where you were heading with that one. Thank you for that. Gilles Lindster, is he going to have a quick look up the inside? No, the door is ever closing. Jesse Vartainen able to just hang on to the place at the wheel of the number 1 car, but there's a spin for Tom Bonen behind. The number 91 Brax Racing machine is facing the wrong way, unfortunately. Can he get the Chevrolet Camaro spun round? Yes, he can. There's a gap in the traffic. He rejoins just behind Mirko Schulzis by the look of things, and Dario Carzo was also able to work his way through. So that is going to be further down through the order, where that car will then subsequently rejoin. So a lot of places lost there, unfortunately, for that one. Not Dario Carzo, Nicola Trisitano, I should say, because it's the Elite 2 driver that's out there now. So pressing on in the lead of the race, Ulysse Delceau. Forget about easing his pace, forget about saving the tyres. 6.2 seconds he leads by. That is impressive stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good gap, and it's it means that the team RDV competition has done a fantastic job with the car, and I mean also Ulysse is doing a very well job in the first spot. So if nothing happened with the car, I cannot see anything is going to take his place.
It's almost been the car to beat all season, has it? Whether it be Elite 2 or Elite 1, with what it's done in the hands of Fred Gabion, that number 3 car from RDV competition, as you say, the Toyota Camry, has been the most winningest car this season in the hands of both of its drivers. Here he comes down the short straight again, down the drag strip, which brings him up towards the fast right-hander, which, as we heard earlier on from Advait Dioda, really loads up that front left-hand tyre on the cars, in particular the circuit where a bit of tyre conservation is considered over the weekend. It doesn't need to overwork those tyres. One thing I have been picking up on whilst the race has been going on as well is that through the first sector of the lap, continually, whether it be Guillaume de Flandre or Felipe Rebello, seem to be getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, it looked like that. And you can see de Flandre was he got a
pink sector 1 right now. So I think the tire is going to come into the window right now. And you can see that Paul Guid is almost in the bumper for Florian Venturi.
Yep, so here they come over the start-finish line. That's now 11 laps completed, 6 laps to go. Number 32, Florian Venturi, under pressure from Paul Guid, who keeps it within the confines of the circuit that time through. He was the driver that ran very, very, very wide up at Ravenel Curva earlier on. And Florian Venturi will know that he is coming. Florian will be conscious that he lies third in the championship standings coming into this weekend. Only 28 points off the lead when there are 80 available just for this race. But Florian is also the leading rookie that we've got in the championship and in this race as well. Onto the brakes, in towards the right-hander. He's got a Knauf car ahead of him. He's got a Knauf car behind him. The number 77 car of second in the championship and race winner from earlier on this season, Guillaume de Flandre, is right behind as well. So this is a good fight now that's busy brewing for third, fourth and fifth place, and this helps Willy Busenna, doesn't it? Just allows him to pull away a little bit more now that they're squabbling behind.
Yeah, it does, and it's right now we have a really good fight about the third position, and in when you are in lap number 9 or 10, no,
we're on 12.
Yeah, we're on 12 right now. Yeah, the car is really hot. You're really hot inside the car, and the tires are perhaps going off a little bit, so you need to be really focused. And when you have someone back in the mirror up in your bumper, it's really easy to do a little bit too much mistakes.
As a driver, do you prefer to chase, or do you prefer to be the one in front?
If you are in front, you maybe lead.
Yeah.
You don't do that if you are hunting someone down. But of course, it's more easy to chase someone than to be in the front.
I thought that was the answer. That's my preference as well. Yeah, be the man that's doing the chasing. It's always easier to try and hunt them down, as long as then if they don't make a mistake ahead of you, that you then get lulled into that same mistake. So great fight going on. Ulysse Delceau is now 6.5 seconds up the road. Here's still the fight that's going on for 8th, 9th and 10th position, which is still the Japanese driver Kenko Miura looking to try and keep Jesse Vartainen behind him in the Finn, looking for the inside line. And remember, they're teammates, they can't really afford to take each other out, and now it looks as though round the outside Gilles Linster is trying a move. That's not quite going to work. He now needs to get back in line before Max Lancer squeezes his way through, whilst the number 27 BVR competition car of Pierluigi Veronesi is not that far behind either. So great little fights all the way through the order going out. Max Lancer, though, however, has got a drive-through penalty. The number 41 car, the white car with its pink and light green flashes, we gather, has got a drive-through penalty, so that is not at all what he would have wanted, or the Club Motorsports team. So the Italian's going to have to head through the pit lane, and frustrating sort of end to his race. It doesn't finish his race, but any good result is now gone, as Gilles Linster runs very wide indeed. And is he going to lose a place? No, not quite, just gets back into line. How frustrating is it if you're a driver? You get the drive-through penalty, there's nothing you can do, is there? You've just got to take it on the chin and forget about it and crack on with the rest of the race.
Yeah, you need to go into the pit and take your penalty, even if you don't think it's right when you sit in the car and you have 180 in pulse and, and you are not agree with the judges. But yeah, you need to take your black flag if you have it. So
118 pulse. Wow, that's low considering you're out there racing. I would expect it to be higher. You're obviously very, very, very fit and very, very relaxed if that's your pulse rate. Do you keep an eye on your pulse rate? Do you wear things that give you that information as a driver?
I have had it, but I don't do it anymore. But it's really necessary to know where you have your maximum and your lowest, and also your physics.
Your calorie burn as well, yeah. Make sure that you rehydrate as well. You talk about how warm the cars are. That causes perspiration, which means you lose body fluids, and it's not just getting water back on board, it's making sure you get all the salt and the vitamins and the minerals back in your body. And we see so many drivers sort of doing all of that and having massages afterwards as well after they've driven these physical cars. And Kenko Miura is going to need exactly that, because the number 2 car has continually been under pressure from Jesse Vartainen. The Finnish driver has not as yet been able to work his way through ahead of the Japanese driver. 3 different nationalities in this fight as well: Japan, Finland and Luxembourg. The number 44 car in the hands of Gilles Linster. It looks as though we have had call into the pit lane to go for that drive-through penalty. The number 41 car is not there anymore, is it? So Max Lancer has been into the pit lane, and on our timing screens actually that you can't see on your TV screens there, he's on an out lap, so he has been into the pits and served the penalty. So we're now on lap number 15. 15 of the scheduled 17, so it's all looking good for Ulysse Delceau at this stage to secure his 3rd victory of the season, his 4th victory in his NASCAR career. And here is the fight now for 2nd and 3rd place. Willy Bucena has been caught by Florian Venturi, and Paul Guillaume is in the mix as well, with Guillaume de Flandre not too far behind. So great little fight going on. The final places of the podium are not sorted, Alexander.
No, they are not, and I think we will see the fight go on until the absolute last lap, absolute last corner. And here is Venturi going. He's going up.
Too deep into the corner. He just lost the place to Paul Guillaume. He tried to work his way through, and he's going to have to rally cross his way back onto the circuit. So it's the Knauf car, the white car of Wilfried Bucena, that's in 2nd place. It is Paul Guillaume now, the number 73 Knauf Racing Mustang, that sits there in 3rd place. And there is a possibility that Guillaume de Flandre might be able to do something here at the wheel of the Memphis Racing Chevy to get himself on the podium. You're getting excited, aren't you?
Yeah, it does. And it's really, really nice racing right now. And it's in the ending of the race where everything is really hot and the guys are... Oh, there we have something.
He was getting close, but the spotter will be telling him if needs be, just remember, it's double points. Don't do anything you don't need to do. Just bring it home, take the points, because they're worth twice as much in this race as any other race this season.
Yeah, of course.
So on to what should be the last lap of the race very shortly. We have some 15 laps now completed, and over the start-finish line comes this 2 laps to go, comes this fantastic little fight. Wilfried Bucena busy squabbling away. There's traffic as well that they're going to have to try and work their way through and past over the course of this lap. These are cars that have had problems, or maybe are just circulating that little bit down through the order, which includes the number 54 car of Arianna Casoli, who is behind the wheel of that car that was driven by Alan Day in the Elite 1 race earlier on. She stays neatly out of harm's way. A former Ladies Cup champion allows the quicker cars to feed their way through. Ulysse Delceau leads by almost 7 seconds from Wilfried Bucena, the number 37 car, the first of the Knauf Fords. Then number 73 Paul Guillaume sitting there in 3rd place, with the Chevy of Guillaume de Flandre in 4th place. You could just see there as he applied the throttle, you could see the car move around, couldn't you? Yeah,
you can see that. It's not only my car that does that. It's even more cars that does it. And we can see Guillaume is going really wide there.
Yeah, he's not the only one to go really wide. Arianna Casoli, I think, who he has just lapped, also ran very, very wide there. No, it's the weight of your right foot that makes it wiggle like that.
Yeah.
Try, and that's the difficult thing, as we were saying early on. There's no traction control, there's no ABS. You know, the driver has to work as the car changes through a race as well. You need to be able to adapt to how quickly you can feed that throttle in. Do you need to short shift, you know, in certain gears, particularly if it's wet? Do you need to do something different? So as the race evolves, as the circuit evolves, as the car evolves, you're changing your driving style all of the time.
Yeah, you have nothing to lean back on. It's you and the car. That's the only thing you have out there, and the spotter.
And the spotter to help you, the spotter to help you. And the best that have done all of that and have brought the package together at the moment is that car there, the number 3 car, in the hands of the Elite 2 Championship leader, Ulysse Delceau, who is now on to his final lap of the race. He had a bit of traffic to deal with, but he leads by 6 3/4 seconds from the Knauf pair of Wilfried Bucena and Paul Guillaume. And this is going to mean a lot to the Knauf team if they can get a double podium here in Elite 2. They will be really pleased with that if they can. It's been a difficult few weeks from them following the passing of one of the critical team members, and all of the cars are sporting this weekend a very special sticker on them, aren't they?
Yeah, they have the sticker and they have the black band on the overalls, and the team members also have them. So yeah, it has been a couple of rough weeks.
And what a way to repay that. Yeah, absolutely. What a way to repay that. So Ulysse Delceau is only now a couple of corners away up towards the Sachs cover for the final time. He's got one more car that he might need to pass, and that is the driver who is currently leading the Ladies Cup element of the race. That is Carmen Boix-Gilles, racing for Racing Total, and she is looking as though she is on for potentially another victory in the Ladies Cup. Stays out of harm's way. She doesn't want to get involved. Allows the race leader to put a lap on her. And, well, here we go. Ulysse Delceau is on for a victory, his 3rd win of 2018, his 4th career win, and well, it is a really great personal story for Ulysse Delceau. He is going to come through and claim a victory And well, that means that number 3 car, it's yet another victory for Ulysse Delso. It looks as though Wilfried Busenna is through in 2nd position. And Guillaume de Flandre, we didn't see it on the TV screen. It's no wonder you're punching the air. Well done, Alexander Graff. Your car's finished on the podium.
And I'm not parking.
Yeah, Guillaume de Flandre, your big smile on his face. Well done, mate, well done.
Thank you.
And well done to Guillaume de Flandre as well for bringing that car home in 3rd place. Got ahead of Paul Guillaume in the end, who finished in 4th place. So if you want to head down to victory lane, please feel free, because the team will be happy and you'll be happy.
I think so, and thanks a lot for having me. I would like to say a big thank you and congratulations to the RDV, who was the first guys when we came here, the Memphis Racing, to Valencia, who helped us out with a couple of new tires. So congratulations to them, and now we're going to celebrate with my team and the other guys who did a fantastic race. Mark,
we'll let you go.
this was really nice to be here with you, and you do a superb job. It's not easy, this one.
As do you on the track as well. As do you on the track. We'll stick to our respective jobs. You stay at driving. I'll stick with talking.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. I'm up with that.
Thank you to Alexander Graff.
Thank
we
you,
wish
guys.
him all the best tomorrow as well. So we'll let him go down and celebrate with the team. And thank you for also chipping in, because we had a bit of space to fill there. So beautiful job. So let's run you down through the order. Ulysse Delso claims the win, his 3rd of 2018. Wilfried Busenna finishes in 2nd position. Great to see Willie back on the podium. That has not happened since the 15th of April at Valencia, when he won his 2nd of the 2 races there. Guillaume de Flandre keeps the championship pressure up with these double points, of course, that are here available this weekend. He comes home and finishes in 3rd place for Memphis Racing. And 4th position is the 2nd of the Knauf Mustangs, number 73 of Paul Guillaume. 5th place, the leading rookie home as well, so we will grab some quick reaction from the Go Fast Racing Ford Mustang, number 32 of Florian Venturi. And in 6th place, it is number 11, the PK Car Sport machine of Felipe Rebello, the Brazilian. In 7th place, it's the first of the German drivers home, number 46 for Racing Total, Justin Kuntz. And in 8th place, busy old race for the Alex Caffey Toyota Camry in the hands of Kenko Miura, number 2, who was in 8th, but the 2nd of the rookies home. 9th place for number 44, Cal Racing, Gilles Linster. And 10th place in the end for number 27, which is the Ford Mustang from BVR Motorsport, Pierluigi Veronese. In 11th position, that's where we see number 51, Hugo Beck. 12th place goes the way of number 1, which is Jesse Vartianen, another one of the rookies that we've got his first race of the season. 13th place for number 7, Maxime Pampel. 14th goes the way of the Michu Motors car of what was Mirko Schultes. And then just to give you the top 15, it was Tom Bonham, number 91 for Brax Racing, that finished in 15th position. The winning driver in the Legend Trophy was indeed Mirko Schultes, who finished in 14th position, and the leading lady home in 20th position was Carmen Boix-Gilles. So we will get some reaction on social media in the next hour or two. We'll hear from Ulysse Delso, who was the overall winner. We'll hear from the rookie winner, Florian Venturi. We'll hear from the legend winner, Mirko Schultes, and we'll hear from Carmen Boix-Gilles as well, who secured top honours in the Lady Cup. So there is in victory lane, and not for the first time this season. It's in the hands of Ulysse Delso. The 3rd time this year we've seen that car head towards victory lane. He took back-to-back victories at Tours in France on the weekend of the Oval World Challenge. And here, the championship leader coming into this weekend in France has also managed to grab another victory. I can see Andre is there with microphone in hand, and as and when we are ready, we will grab some reaction from our race winner, who is just about to get out of the car now. And well, Ulysse Delso, a fantastic result for him. So for Ulysse Delso, he will be absolutely delighted with that. He is a driver who expresses himself through his racing. He suffers from Asperger's disease, but absolutely he loves his racing. He knows how to celebrate, and it goes to show that no matter what issues you may have to deal with in life, there is really good options for you and opportunities to enjoy what you do, and absolutely, Ulysse Delso will be grinning from ear to ear. His father will be here supporting him, his family will be here supporting him, RDV Competition are here supporting him as well, and he has done exactly what he has tended to do all season, and that is push, push, push as hard as he possibly can. And you can see a thumbs up from him there. He takes a well-earned drink, as we were saying with Alexander Graff, who's now left and gone down to victory lane to celebrate with his driver, who finished in third place, Guillaume de Flandre, picking up that place on the final lap. Important to rehydrate, get the fluids back on board. It's starting to cool off here now in Germany as we approach 6:30 in the evening Central European time. There's Dad as well. Look at that. Look at the reaction there. A massive, massive grin, and that means so much to them, particularly as it's double points as well. You can almost see the tears in Ulysses' eyes, and well, his father is enormously pleased, enormously proud of his son as well. And well, that now means that he further strengthens his lead in the championship, of course, because it's 80 points for a race win. That is what Ulysse Delso has just scored, and his main championship rival, which is Guillaume de Flandre, has managed to scoop up 68 points in that race. So the gap has increased by another 12 points between the pair of them. That puts it, I haven't done the maths, but 36 points, I think, is the gap that we will have at this stage. Now, his father posing for a picture, double thumbs up for them first, and well, he is looking as though he's going to be pretty emotional when we see him up there on the podium. The RDV Competition team heading over. I think that's his spotter that's heading over to have a quick chat to him. His father was not into motor racing at all, or auto racing, but he discovered Ulysses' passion for it, and well, he did absolute miracles to make sure that his son got the opportunity to race and fulfill his dreams. And not only is he fulfilling those dreams, he is winning races and at the best possible level in the Elite 2 division of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, claiming his fourth career win of the year, his fourth career win, and his third win of 2018. We're going to get some reaction from down there very shortly. Andre is on hand. Well, that is our final NASCAR race of the day. We've got, of course, 2 further races to come tomorrow. We'll see Elite 2 cars back out. The stream goes live at 10:40 in the morning Central European time, and the Elite 1 race goes live at 14:20 Central European time, but we will confirm that, and of course the times that they'll go out if you're watching in America Eastern time. We'll confirm all of that just before we go off air in a few moments. But let's hear from the race winner.
Ulysse Delso, Elite 2 semi-final 1 winner here at Hockenheim. At your favorite track, how do you feel?
It's unbelievable, but because when I was a kid, I was watching the German Grand Prix in Formula 1, and win out Hockenheim, it's very mythical, and I'm very happy. This is my best victory after tour. And really thanks to my team, my fan, and when I was finished, I was think of my idol Jim Clark. He was dead in this track, and I think of you and Ayrton Senna. Thanks for everyone, and I'm very happy.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations, and we're going back to Mark.
So fantastic reaction from our winner, Ulysse Delso. You can see what it means to him. You could hear what it meant to him as well, to claim what for him is his third win of the season, and it strengthens his lead at the top of the championship tables. Well, that's it from the Hockenheim ring today for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, more racing coming up tomorrow on Sunday here. The Elite 2 semi-final 2 gets underway. If you want to watch in Europe, then it's 10:40 a.m. Central European time. If you're watching over in America, it's 4:40 a.m. Set your alarm nice and early Eastern time. But if that's a little bit too early for you, you can always join us for the Elite 1 race that takes place at 2:20 p.m. Central European time, and that's a slightly more palatable 8:20 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you to Alexander Graff for joining us in the commentary box. Myself, Mark Werrell. Join us again tomorrow at Hockenheim Ring. The 2018 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series returns to the circuit when we head to Hockenheim over the weekend of the 15th and 16th of September. An enormous crowd joined us for American Fan Fest in 2017 to see some NASCAR racing, some pure racing. There's even more up for grabs in Germany. It's the semi-finals of the championship, which means it's double points. Who's going to claim the win and take the checkered flag first? Who's going to get maximum points?